Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you guys enjoy that little intro. And what a beautiful spot we're at tonight. Just kind of stumbled on this by accident actually. Was looking at just the map on OnX actually. And again, that's how I find a lot of these spots, is by accident, by looking at the map. And stumbled across this amazing spot. So this is up the 93. Another hint, fairly close to some railroad tracks, but you can probably hear the train in the distance. So those are your two hints. All right. What's on deck for tonight? So on deck for tonight, we have beef stew that we're going to be making, which should be good. Haven't made it before, in the Dutch oven. Everything will be made on the fire tonight, which will be great. Got a little fire pit right here. And 2 bundles of dry firewood, because you know that's how I roll, especially in the wintertime. Lots of downed trees around here, so we should be fine. I'm gonna actually go out and collect some firewood here just in a minute. Also too, on top of that, we're gonna be answering some questions that you guys had submitted and asked on the community post that I made. Probably won't answer all of them. We'll see. There was quite a few, and some of them involve a little bit more detail than others. But that's what's on deck for tonight. Again, thanks for joining. Hopefully you guys enjoy this amazing spot as much as I will. All right. So if you're watching this video, I just did a live. So if you were on that live while I kind of talked about dinner, you obviously got a little preview on what we were making. But tonight we are going to attempt beef stew. So these are some slow cooked meats from Old Salt Co-op Post. We've got red potatoes, we've got beef stock, we've got carrots. What else we got? Parsley, flour, whatever the ingredients for this recipe that I'm going to be following. Disclaimer, like with everything, I never try this recipe beforehand because I like to be surprised and I like the challenge of doing this outside. So here we are. So we are going to first season and sear these beef chunks, and then we'll kind of go through the whole process. Ultimately though, this will take a little bit of time, so searing it obviously not going to take time, but then we're going to cook the rest of it actually on the fire tonight. And all right, guys, let's answer some of these questions. Let's get onto YouTube. So the most upvoted or thumbs up comment that I got was asking are you a full-time YouTuber? If not, what do you do for a living? So no, YouTube is not full-time yet, but I definitely feel like it is moving in that direction pretty fast, okay? And I will say for the last probably 3 months, YouTube has definitely been the main source of my income. What I do outside of YouTube is actually nutrition coaching, and that has been my main source of income for the last 3 years. And I'm actually kind of phasing out of that, so kind of making a life transition. I'm 29 right now. I turned 30 in February, and I feel like I'm currently at this point where I'm moving from a degree that I went to school for, which was nutrition, dietetics, and moving into this creative side of whether it's content, making content for companies, making my own stuff, or even potentially working for a company doing marketing and stuff like that. So no, YouTube is not full-time. I will say it is a majority of my income right now, and nutrition coaching is still money that's on the side. So Robert asked, interested in seeing the cab setup of your truck. So I do plan on doing an updated walk around build video of the truck, probably in 2025, and I will cover the inside of the truck or the cab during that video. Also, how do I manage dirt in the camper from Odi? Does he have a lower bed or does he sleep next to me? So Odi actually sleeps downstairs. He has his own little platform, which is great in the wintertime because it stays warmer down there as well. I honestly just keep him down there year round, so even in the summer months, winter, just because of the dirt. So I used to take him upstairs. Summertime, he tracks in a lot of dirt just naturally with the type of hair that he has. In the wintertime, he gets wet and it just allows him to dry off downstairs. So I keep him downstairs, and he's really used to sleeping on his little platform on his bed as well. What are some of your favorites to explore camp other than Montana? And when you're not camping, exploring, what's your other favorite hobby? So I went down to Utah earlier this year, and I will definitely be going back there in spring of 2025 for sure. The lower desert portion of Utah is incredible, okay? So I will definitely be going back there. I really want to get down to the southern part of Colorado as well. I believe it's the San Juans, and just really want to see that type of territory and that terrain. When I'm not camping, exploring, I am running. So that is my new hobby, if you want to call it. That is something that I have really just started to enjoy and pick up, and I will be running a 50-mile race in February in Moab with the hopes of getting a late entry into the Crazy 100, which will be in July, and that is in Montana as well. How do you manage working out and keeping fit with vlogging, filming, and post-production work? So like I already mentioned, I am training for a 50-mile race that is in February, and then after that there is the hopes or the plan to do a 100-mile race, which will be in July. Outside of that, I still have time to hit the gym, but the time that I actually spend in the gym now is very limited to what I used to spend in the gym. I'm only doing really two or 3 days in the gym at the very most, and most of the time it's 2 days a week, full body, and that's it. So that's why I picked up running as well, because it complements this lifestyle really well. When you're out exploring, obviously you don't have access to a gym. Trail running, super easy to do. You can get some really cool spots, and that's honestly why I really enjoy trail running as well, is it's just easy to do with camping as well. Do I have any prior filming experience? No, I am all self-taught. So I messed around with a camera maybe when I was 13, 14, the little camcorder one. And after that, really didn't mess around with too much. I got the Canon Rebel from Costco when they sold that complete package with the starter lens. There's 2 lenses in that. I think it was like a 18 to 55 and then a big zoom lens. Had that for a while, and then upgraded to a Sony A5100, I believe. Had that, got an A6000 by Sony, then went to an A6400, and then the A7 IV, and now we have the A7 IV, and then also this one which we're filming on right now is the A7S III. Everything is self-taught. Everything is just from practice, watching YouTube. Yeah, if you want to get better at something, you got to keep doing it. You got to keep practicing, figuring out where you can improve on, even just making small improvements with editing, camera angles, lighting. The main thing with taking photos and getting video is lighting. So it's not so much about capturing the photo, it's about capturing lights. And once I started thinking about it that way, so capturing light instead of just setting up a camera, everything drastically changed for me. Love the Tacoma, but have you thought about getting a Tundra? Yes and no. So I love the mid-size and the smaller size of the Tacoma. And the main reason why I like the size of the Tacoma is tighter trails, all right? So a lot of stuff that I tend to go down is a little bit narrower. With a full-size truck like a Tundra or something larger, a little bit harder to do that. Not saying it's impossible, but it's just stuff that you have to start thinking about. Now, I would, a lot of the time, love the extra space of a full-size truck, so like a Tundra or another full-size brand truck. So that is one thing that I do often envy, just with the size of the Tacoma. Really any mid-size truck, beyond 2 people in a mid-size truck, it's just too small. So when it's just Odi and I out here, it's perfect. There's enough room. I can have enough room for all my gear. The camera gear takes up a lot of space usually, but yes, have thought about a Tundra, and probably eventually down the road a full-size truck would be in the picture at that point. So this question has been asked quite a bit too, not just on this post, but also in comments on other videos. And really it pertains to cooking, camping in bear territory. What do I do? And this individual asked, you cook literally right next to where you sleep in bear country, Montana. That's usually a big no-no. Why do you do that? Should people be less afraid of wildlife? You also never have bear spray on you either within reach. So first off, cooking where I sleep, there are certain precautions that I obviously do, and you can only do so much. You're camping in their territory, in their environment, in their home, and at the end of the day, you could be 100% clean and still have an animal pass through camp. What I personally do is I wipe everything down. I have the trasharoo bag. I throw all my trash in there at night. All my food, everything is stored inside the cab of the truck. Nothing is left outside. If I drop something on the ground, obviously I pick it up. That's another reason why I usually try to feed Odi inside the cab of the truck or in the back of the truck, just for any food that he maybe spills. So there are certain precautions that you can take to limit the chance of having an intruder, having a bear or something like that. But to be honest, out here, I'm more concerned about a mountain lion versus a bear. Just for the fact is, mountain lions are extremely stealth. And if you see a mountain lion, there's a good chance that that mountain lion has already been tracking you and has seen you for an extremely long time. So when it comes to that, I'm more concerned about a mountain lion versus a bear. Just because I do a lot of stuff. Like I said, I clean up. I don't leave food out. I'm smart about all of that. Not too worried about a bear, okay? I've also spent 100 plus nights in the Super Pacific this year, and the only bears that I have seen have been inside of Glacier, on the road, while I was in my vehicle. So, there's that. Should people be less afraid of wildlife? I don't think people need to be less afraid. I just think people need to be more aware. Awareness is key. You don't need to be afraid of anything, but when people start to get too relaxed or too chill, especially in Glacier, where there is a lot of grizzlies, there are a lot of grizzlies up in this area or this part of Montana, just be aware. Be aware of your surroundings. even though it may not look like it on video, I'm constantly scanning. I'm scanning the bushes. My ears are always alerts and, you know, constantly trying to hear what's around. So just be aware of your surroundings, be alert, be smart about storing trash, your food, all of that stuff. And really, you know, you're doing everything that you can on your part, and maybe you'll still have a bear roll through. It happens, but just be smart and aware. You also never have bear spray on you either within reach. So it is within reach. I always have some sort of self-protection either on or within reach. Due to YouTube though, I'm not sure what we're able to show, and it can affect the ability to run ads on videos. So I just normally don't even talk about that. And I also normally don't even show it just because I don't want to have a strike against the channel. Patrick asked, what is your favorite thing about traveling with your dog? What is the hardest part? So favorite thing is the company, especially when I do solo trips like this, or just solo outings, is the company is extremely nice. His personality is amazing. I love it. I love seeing him excited about certain spots. Love seeing him explore new areas. So all of that is great. I would say the hardest thing though is going to national parks, just because dogs can't go on trails. So national parks, whether you're going to Glacier, when I went down to Utah, going into the Arches, Zion, all those places, that's where it gets a little bit more challenging because you're trying to juggle of if it's too hot, obviously you can't leave them in the car, or if it is cool enough to leave them in the car for an extended period of time, it can't be for a super long time. So it's going to be 12 hours, 13 hours, stuff like that. So that is the hardest part, I think, of traveling with a dog. So lots of questions about relationships, maybe traveling if you have a significant other. What do they think about the trips that I do? So I was dating someone last year. We broke up beginning of January, actually, which is funny because that was when my last breakup happened, which is a great way to start the year. So we broke up beginning of January, and that individual was a little bit more insecure about the solo trips, just because when I would take him, sometimes she couldn't go. Sometimes I was like, hey, I want to go out and film this. It's a snow video. And those types of videos are often just easier to do if it's just me, okay? I have not dated someone all of 2025, okay? After that last breakup, I really just took some time to heal. I think that's really important. I think people jump back into a relationship way too fast, and they're just not fully healed, which I've done in the past. I think we've all done that at some point, and it's not fair to yourself and potentially the other person that you're dating. So I really just took 2024 to heal, do some things that I've always wanted to do, did things by myself. I think that's super important as well, and really just laid some foundation on what I wanted to see in a person, the next person that I would date. So I've been talking to someone, and things are going well. So there's that. I think this person is also very understanding of this type of lifestyle. I've already made it very clear that YouTube is also my baby. Okay, I love this. This could turn into a full-time job, and I think just whoever you're with, people have to respect that and realize that this is a little bit different than just going out and having fun. At the end of the day, it does become a job, and it's how you make a living for some folks. So yes, managing that though, I think just communicating that very clearly. Oh, you're hung up. Oh guys, we got hung up on something. I have no idea how that happens. But yeah, relationships and someone understanding this, I think what I learned, at least with the last one and just going into a new one, is communicating. And communication obviously is super important. But communicate that you know, your needs, your wants, your desires for that relationship. And I think just really helps. Telling the truth helps a lot too, as well. The truth saves everyone time, which I've learned. So we're going to answer 2 more questions. This one is about switching front bumpers on the truck. So if you did not know before, excuse me, I had a Backwoods Adventure Mods aluminum front bumper with the steel winch cradle. And then we switched to the C4 hybrid, which is all steel. So this individual is asking, did I have any issues with the Backwoods bumper? Looking for an honest review since you made the switch. Love the content. Thanks. So no, I didn't have any issues with the Backwoods bumper. I would say the only thing I did have, and Backwoods was super responsive and actually sent out a new one, was the winch cradle. I didn't notice right away that some bad welds were in there until I was kind of messing around with it, probably about 6 months after I installed it. They sent out a new one, no questions asked, which was awesome. Now, I don't know if this bumper was the bumper or possibly, I mean, it had to be the bumper because it was the only bumper that was on there. But when I was taking the Backwoods bumper off, I had split my frame supports where the bumper actually attaches. And I even had the winch supports from Backwoods. So I don't know if the bumper caused that, the design of the bumper, it's hard to say, but I had to have those re-welded by running for tacos down in Colorado. The reason why I switched is there was an opportunity to do a direct trade or swap to the C4. And I kind of just wanted to change things up. Also for protection from deer, I hadn't hit anything with the Backwoods. I hadn't really seen folks who had hit something with the Backwoods. There was one photo from an individual that hit a deer at like 70, and it pretty much crumpled the bumper, okay? It is aluminum, so it's not gonna hold up like steel. So there's those trade-offs of going aluminum, you save weight, obviously, but then you have the fact that it really can't withstand too much. So that was part of the other reason why I wanted to make the switch to a full steel bumper, is just overall protection in the front. I do think it looks slightly better now. It's really grown on me since switching, and I'm super stoked with it. But no issues besides the winch cradle, which, yeah, Backwoods was super responsive and sent out a brand new one, free of charge, no shipping cost either. Favorite times to, or the best times to come out to Montana, the best spots to explore, things that you need to see, and really, it depends on what you want to do. So I wouldn't say there really is ever a bad time to visit Montana. Wintertime is amazing, spring is amazing, fall is amazing, summer's amazing. Obviously summer's going to be busier out of all of the months, but there really is never a bad time. Now, if you want to come and see Glacier National Park, then you're kind of limited. I would say summer and fall is obviously going to be the best times. I would say fall is going to be slightly less busy than coming in summer. If you're planning on going to the Sun Road, it's got to be late enough in the season, just because they have to plow the snow off the road, open the road, and that usually doesn't happen until mid to late June, even sometimes all the way into the beginning of July. So if you want to visit Glacier, personally, I would say fall is the best time. There's so much to explore though, all over. So really just pick a spot, and if you guys ever do come out to Montana, I'm more than happy to give some recommendations on certain areas, whether it's Glacier, areas that I've been in the state. But there's a lot to explore. There really is never a bad time to come visit. Wintertime is awesome. It's a lot less tourism here, unless you're near a ski hill, obviously, then people will fly in to ski. But summer times are busy, and in the winter, usually with the weather, the colder climate, it really keeps people away. So yeah, it's hard to answer that question because ultimately it depends. All right, so the stew is pretty good. Probably add a little bit more beef, but I added all the beef that I had. So maybe add less potatoes, add less carrots. I don't know, but it's good. See if you guys can see that. I mean, it's beef stew, not much to look at, but everything is cooked really well. It's hot. It's piping hot right now. Alright guys, just fired up the diesel heater. As you can see, it's 27, 26 degrees minimum, or the lowest temperature that we've had so far is 24 degrees. So pretty chilly out right now. We're gonna let the diesel heater run for a bit. We'll stand by the fire and then call it a night. The stew was really good. It was very hearty, just what I needed, super warm, and I'll probably make it again. I'm not a huge soup person, but I did like that. So that's that. We're gonna enjoy the last remaining bit of the fire, and then we'll crawl in, and I might make some tea actually inside the Super Pacific tonight, just before heading to bed. So that'll be that. All right, guys, just warming up inside. You know it's cold when my Dometic hose was frozen. So just unthawing now. Odi is licking his paws, doing something. Current temp. Let's see what we're working with. Is that 46? It's warming up here, so that's good. Diesel heater, A+, game changer. Feet are drying off, and we're gonna call it night. So, see you all in the morning. All right, good morning everyone. Packed up, had our morning coffee, and it's a chilly one this morning. So it is currently 23 degrees. That does not include the wind chill. I would assume it's probably close to about 15, maybe 10 to 15 with the wind chill. So definitely the coldest morning that we've had in a while. And got some good drone shots of above the inversion with the trees, and yeah, splendid morning. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed dinner last night. Something a little bit new. I'm not a huge stew soup person, but turned out pretty good, I thought. We're gonna go ahead and start the truck, let it warm up for a bit, and make our way on out and back home. So like always, guys, thank you for the support on this video, on the channel. We're almost to 20,000 subscribers. I think we will hit it before the end of the year. That is the goal, at least. And it's been an awesome year. So took a little bit of a break during the summertime just because I was living out of the truck essentially for those few months. And we hit it hard once we came back and got a place to stay in. And the work has paid off. So again, thank you guys so much for the support, the likes, the comments, the shares. We're definitely growing a community on here. And I think at some point I definitely want to release a sticker or a patch for a really small fee that you guys can purchase and then join the community even more. So again, thank you. And we're going to pack up the rest of the stuff. See you guys in the next video.